What's up, Culture Drop? Your pal Galen here, back with my chessboard. Why? Because we're talking about something very strategic. The topic today is this very age-old conundrum that leaders face. I think right now with what's going on in the labor universe, this has been sort of skyrocketed to the forefront of a lot of conversations, and I think it's critical, which is about holding people accountable. This is a pretty juicy topic. I think really, really important. Here's the conundrum. If you're an organization where historically you don't have a very intentionally defined culture, you don't have a history of holding people to a really high standard and holding people accountable, right? You just have the normal thing that exists in most organizations, which is just a mishmash of accountability. You've got high performing, really engaged employees. You've got a mix of middle of the roads and a lot of people that are disengaged or toxic or whatever. You just have a mish of that. Here's the conundrum for leaders. Do we hold people accountable to a higher standard or higher bar, right? If we want to elevate our culture, we want to elevate employee experience, that means we have some changes to make in terms of what we've allowed to let slide in the organization up until now. And so what a lot of leaders are faced with is this. If we raise the bar and we start saying, okay, we're going to actually put a focus on making sure that people don't come to work with poor attitudes, aren't exhibiting toxic behavior, are not performing at a mediocre or lower standard, we're going to hold people accountable to a higher bar. Here's the conundrum, is that if we do that, these people might quit. And in this market right now, when talent is hard to find, people are I can't really afford to lose people. So if we say, hey, we're going to hold everybody to a higher bar and a higher standard, right, we're going to hold people more accountable, then we're going to lose people and we're already understaffed. So we can't really afford to have that thing happen. So that's the challenge, right, that leaders see there. That resonates with me. I understand it. I get it, right? When we're understaffed and we lose more people, it's that sucks. And right now, a lot of organizations are scrambling to find bodies to work for them, right, because of all the things that are going on. And I know this is easy for me to say because I'm not the one who has 1,000 employees or whatever, where it's man, we're having workforce challenges and stuff like that. But highly accountable people don't mind being held accountable. And whether you choose to bring up the bar and hold the bottom sort of rung of your employees or just functioning behaviors, performance people, whether you want to bring them up and hold them to a higher standard of accountability or not, you are going to lose one segment of your population inside your organization. What I mean by that is, who are you going to cater to in terms of the employees that you already have? The people who are high performing and engaged and positive that do great work, or the people who are bottom of the rung that you're afraid to lose? Because you either bring these people up or potentially have a lot of them leave, or some of them be disgruntled and be I don't want to be held accountable, I'm leaving. I fail to see the problem with that, other than you have to replace them. Or you keep these people, you allow this behavior to take place, right? This low bar to exist. You will lose your highest performers and your most positive, productive people. They might not quit their jobs. In fact, a lot of them don't because they're loyal to the company and for other reasons. But those people, if you squash their morale, the way that you will lose them is that they will be I don't have to try because these people don't have to try and there's no consequence to that. So why would I care? This company doesn't care. So why would I care about how great I'm doing of a job when somebody else can do a much worse job and sort of experience getting to still work here and be part of this thing where I have to pull more weight than other people because they're not performing well, etc. You're going to lose these people in their morale, their engagement, their excitement to work for the company, which means that they will be less productive, less engaged. They will care less about the company. And that translates to the same issues that are caused by these people who are low accountability kind of employees, which is more problems with your product, worse customer experience. The customer experience is lessened by somebody who's not super engaged and awesome about their job. So the service that you're providing or the product that you're creating as an organization will suffer in terms of quality control. And the people who are creating that product or creating that service don't care, or they just have a low sort of standard in terms of what they're delivering, right? That will impact customer experience. So to sum it up quickly, you have to make the choice. And I say, yes, hold these people to a higher standard because the people who are highly accountable, they want to work in an organization where other people are also held accountable and they are held accountable. Nobody who is highly accountable, has squirms or has a problem with being held accountable. What they want desperately, and only that you can do as leadership, is to hold the rest of the people in the organization who are not pulling their weight, who are showing up with poor behaviors, right? And making it worse for everybody. They want desperately those people to be held accountable to a higher bar. And if you lose some of those people in the process of making that shift, good riddance. I know it's hard to find talent, but you have to make the choice of like, who are we going to cater to? It doesn't make sense to me to be like, let's cater to these people as opposed to let's cater to these people, because a really engaged, highly productive, awesome employee is worth like 5 people who are toxic, hate their jobs, don't want to be there, don't perform well. That's the T. That's my perspective on that. I know it's a challenge, but you've got to make the choice. Do you want to have a high bar and hold people accountable to a higher standard and be a better organization as a result?